Welcome to the FanDuel Punch-Out. I'm Jason Gilbo, JGilbo11. With me is Russell Clay at Russell J. Clay. Taking a look at a small 5-game slate here on FanDuel. And as far as the pitching standpoint goes, it's pretty unappealing. But we do like a pitcher of Matt Whistler down at 6,500, which would leave you with 35 left over for each position, which is pretty nice on a slate like tonight.
35, my favorite number. Not really. Yeah, no. That's a crazy price for him on this slate. So I think, I don't know. I don't see really any options that compare to that in terms of price included, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, obviously McCullers and Gossman have arguably maybe a little more upside just because of the matchups and the strikeout rates. But, I mean, Whistler does have that, especially at 6,500 against the Brewers.
I mean, unless you actually get points for earned runs, in which case Willie Peralta is signed, sealed, delivered cash gameplay tonight.
Jeez.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, Gossman, McCullers, and Whistler, as we went over in the pitcher slate, that's kind of the guys I'm looking at, especially on a one pitcher. You don't really want to do the Clay Buchholz thing that I was talking about.
No, you do not. Looking at catcher here, and we were both in agreement. Salvador Perez kind of comes in as the top option. Hitting very solid of late. 9 hits in the last 3 games there. Driving in runs, scoring runs to 3,200. I don't mind that price tag one bit. It's just he kind of comes away, it seems, as the top playable option in all formats.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, especially if you're playing Whistler. No need to pay down. I think he's the clear top option.
Yeah, and I mean, on DK we talked about Matt Wieters, but because they're essentially the same price tag, they are the same price tag. I just lean towards Perez, a little more there.
Right.
I did like a punt play with the Atlanta Braves, though. Tyler Flowers at 2,400. Intriguing just because he hits in the middle of that order. I mean, Flowers hasn't been bad, 327 wall-off righties this season, so decent number there. And obviously we talked to Peralta. We were joking around with him. Not a cash game arm, and he's a guy who's going to provide you some Atlanta punt plays.
Definitely. And I think Christian Vasquez, 2,200. I think that's a pretty solid value as well.
Yeah, so there are some different ranges of catchers you can go with, but Perez kind of tops it off.
Yeah, definitely.
First base here, and this one's a little different because Ortiz and the Hosmer difference isn't as big. It just seems a little bit easier to kind of fit in Ortiz, and he's by far the top option again.
Yeah, FanDuel's a little different than DraftKings. I don't think I want to hedge as much. Even at that price, I think you just kind of go with the chalk here.
Yeah, I mean, Ortiz, 474 wall-off righties this year, 390 ISO, and you look at Gray, I mean, yes, he's a good pitcher, but it just seems inevitable at this point that a pitcher's going to come in and really shut down the Sox team. It's just it hasn't happened much this season, and it's been a while since I can remember.
Freeman and Abreu still do intrigue me, though, and they're pretty reasonably cheaper. So looking at those guys, Freddie Freeman's price kind of takes Matt Adams out of play for me, unfortunately. So that's pretty much how I'm looking at first base tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that there is a sizable difference with Freeman. And Freeman, I mean, 204 ISO this season off righties, striking out a little bit more, but overall I think it's just because he feels a little bit pinched to actually do something because that lineup is so bad around him. But there's a lot of lefties in that Atlanta team, and I think with Peralta's struggles, they could be kind of a sneaky option tonight.
Definitely.
We'll go to second base here, and Daniel Murphy, kind of the standout guy. 4,100, not a bad price tag for him.
Hey, I'm okay with this Altuve price too. He's in a pretty decent matchup, batting second now, so I'm okay with both those guys. But yeah, I like Murphy definitely more. He's definitely going to be in most of my lineups.
Altuve kind of a swerve off of that top option.
Yeah, right. And then it's really weak below that. We talked about Gordon Beckham on DK. He's a pretty good value here, 2,400. But are you willing to swerve off these top two?
I don't mind DJ LeMahieu at 31.
Okay.
Just because this game has the highest total on the night. I know Colorado's, outside of cores. I know the Vegas rental isn't as high, but Buchholz has just been bad. And I like LeMahieu through 53 Woboff righties this year, so been pretty solid. I'm going to definitely take some shots at them, especially at that price tag.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm with you. It's a weak spot, and I think Murphy's the kind of obvious play up top going up against Leake there.
Mm-hmm.
Third base, and this one I think you got some tough calls to make just because Travis Shaw is a little bit more expensive in comparison to DraftKings, but Arenado comes in as my top option. He's just $4,000, not a bad price tag, and Buchholz 1.95 runs per 9 to right-handers this year.
Yeah, for me, it's between Frazier and Arenado. That's tough. I think I'm probably going to split my shares because I'm really only playing tournaments tonight, so I'm probably going to split those shares pretty evenly. But I mean, Arenado at 4K even, that's pretty darn value incentive let me get it, guys.
Dictionary. You're like Draymond Green, where you just completely like robots out into
incentivized.
It's not working, man.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't know what you're going for.
Well, there's incentive from a value standpoint.
You got to get all Harvard grad on us and
incentivized. I guess that's it. That does not sound good. If you're doing a speech, I would not suggest throwing that word in there. That's for
sure. I wouldn't even suggest it if you were doing a pod, but you still took that. Frazier, last season 377 Woboff lefties, a big 3.46 ISO, so certainly playable. I think he's more of a GP. Obviously, we're talking mainly GPPs on tonight's slate anyway, but right. I like him as kind of a swerve, and I think Shaw's still definitely an option there as well.
Definitely.
Looking lower though, there isn't a ton that I like. If Kelly Johnson's in the lineup, it's another Atlanta Braves punt to maybe consider if you're trying to be really different.
That might have taken a few months off your life just saying that there. I felt the pain that came from your soul when you said that. So,
if you want to get weird, Atlanta's kind of
they are weird. I like that. I like that tonight.
You can do some one-offs and hope for a shot off Willie Peralta, which he's given up plenty this season.
Right.
So, looking at shortstop here, and this one, there's a good difference between Trevor Story and Bogaerts up top, 700. Bogaerts kind of comes in as the top option. I know the day-to-day things right there, but he expects to be ready. I'm not quite sure if this is a spot I'm going to pay up for tonight. I like Bogaerts, but I think I'll see his Escobar 3K is going to be kind of my mid-range guy.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the move in terms of main lineup. I won't say main cash lineup because you're a very daring person to put your regular exposure in there today. But for tournaments as well, I think in your main lineup, you want him in there. Trevor Story, obviously 3,800, much cheaper here than on DK. So I think that's an interesting move to make.
Yeah, and you talked about Correa being a GPP play, but was that more because of the price considered, or do you still like him here as a swerve?
I definitely like Story more in general, so him being priced lower makes me want to go on to him even more. But I still think Correa is an interesting swerve just because of the slate.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I think Escobar is about as low as I'm going to go. There's nothing much down there that I even feel comfortable using.
No way.
So, looking at outfield here, and Bryce Harper 4K dropping down. That's a sizable notice from where we saw him. 5,700 I believe was his peak price this season. So, he's come down. He's not hitting the ball well. He's getting pitched around, but I still think Mike Leake, this could be a spot where Harper comes into play and has a big game.
Yeah, again, if I'm playing Murphy, I'm probably playing Harper too, and that especially goes for DraftKings or FanDuel. Here because of that price, I think you can just fit him in like a normal player and can confirm Bryce Harper not a normal player. He's a stud, and he's going up against a pitcher that struggles against lefties. So him and Murphy tonight, I love that combo. I think at least one of them pays it off. So I think you're pretty safe with throwing both of them in there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Colorado and Boston outfielders are pretty pricey. But one guy who, I mean, obviously Jackie Bradley Jr. stands out as one of the other options, but Charlie Blackmon's a guy I really like tonight. Hitting over 300 in the last 10, 5 extra base hits there in that span. And you just look at Buchholz, 393 WOBA allowed to lefties this season. And they're hitting him hard, nearly a 39% hard ball rate. So Blackmon, Carlos Gonzalez. Carlos Gonzalez is pretty cheap, 3K. So I certainly think he's very playable there.
Definitely very playable. That's a good price for him. He seems to just struggle early on in seasons, so I think he's going to get it rolling here pretty soon.
Yeah, he's starting to come around a little bit, so I think we could take advantage of that price tag. Mm-hmm. Ben Revere was the guy we talked about. I mean, we joked around it's either 0 or 20 plus, and that's kind of what it's been. But against Mike Leake, I don't mind him. I don't think he fits into a bad national stack tonight of Harper, Murphy, Revere there.
Definitely. I like that. Matt Holliday's calling my name at 2,400. He's been bad this year, but super cheap, man. That's a pure punt for a guy batting third in the lineup and who's been good before. So definitely in play tonight as a pure punt.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys, relatively low floor, but GPP-wise does have that home run upside as we saw last night.
Yeah.
So Lorenzo Cain, I mean, we talked about him on the DK pod, a little bit higher price tag, but still a notable name to kind of mention.
Yep, definitely in on him.
Yeah. Anyone down low you're looking at?
No, other than Holiday, it's pretty slim.
Yeah, slim pickings in outfield, and I think you're not pressed to do a lot of deep depth into the salary ocean out there in outfield.
I may have secretly taken a look at Alex Presley for like a minute there when I was going through the slate last night, and then I said I may have clicked him into a lineup and then clicked him off, but don't tell anyone.
That's going to wrap things up here with the FanDuel Punch Out. Be sure to check out DaveFantasyCafe.com for all our great tools and content.